About half of Southeast Asia is covered by dense tropical forests that hold many mysteries.
Guys, ada saya punya taripang. Ini pinam taripang nanas. Jadi pemodel itu kayak nanas guys, kami lihat.
Surprisingly, even today, scientists continue to discover new species in this region and learn about the unique features of the local forest inhabitants.
And they'll put their nose into the water to figure out if it's good or not. And then once they decide...
In this video, I invite you to watch a selection of encounters with the most unusual representatives of the fauna of Southeast Asia and other corners of our planet. Enjoy watching. Residents of a Vietnamese village gathered near a river after news spread that one brave man had caught a real monster. It was a saltwater crocodile with a body length of more than 5 meters. At first, the giant simply lay still. People carefully examined it, and some even dared to touch its skin, admiring the power of the predator. But then the crocodile began trying to break free. Many people became frightened by the giant's behavior and ran away. Saltwater crocodiles are among the largest and most dangerous predators on the planet. They live in mangrove swamps, river deltas, and coastal waters from India to northern Australia. Males can grow up to 7 meters and weigh more than a ton. Their powerful jaws can crush a turtle shell, and their aggressive behavior makes them extremely dangerous to humans. A woman went fishing with her husband. This time, they managed to pull a very unusual creature from the water, so she decided to share the find online. At first, the woman did not reveal the secret of what the animal was, teasing her followers with riddles. Later, however, she admitted that it was a pineapple sea cucumber. The pineapple sea cucumber is an unusual inhabitant of tropical reefs in the Pacific and Indian Oceans. It got its name because of its bumpy skin, which resembles the surface of a pineapple. These echinoderms can reach 50 centimeters in length and usually hide in coral crevices, feeding on plankton and organic particles. Their coloration ranges from brown to orange with dark spots, helping them blend in among the reefs. Although sea cucumbers seem harmless, some species release toxic substances for protection. Fishermen from Southeast Asia noticed an object in the water that they first mistook for wet black hair. When one of them tried to grab it, it became clear that someone's head was underwater. The creature resembled a human but had incredible strength. For several minutes, the fishermen tried to pull it to the surface, but it broke free and disappeared underwater. One of the fishermen managed to capture what was happening on video, but because the creature was underwater, it is difficult to identify. The fishermen do not know what they encountered. Perhaps it was a water spirit or another mystical creature. In any case, after this incident, they began avoiding that place. Fairies are known as fairy tale creatures that look like tiny people with wings on their backs. We are used to considering them fictional, but videos sometimes appear online that make people question this belief. A woman who was walking through the forest with friends shared exactly such footage. According to her, she suddenly noticed something in the air that resembled fluff. She decided to film it, and when she zoomed in, she saw a tiny creature with a neat body, legs, arms, a head, and translucent wings behind its back. The woman is convinced that she encountered a real fairy, and after this incident, she began to believe that many fairy tale creatures exist in reality. The author of the video noticed a snake in the basement of his house and decided to approach it carefully to get a better look. At that moment, he saw that it had small front legs. The man took out his phone and filmed the uninvited guest. After the video was posted online, users suggested that it might have been some kind of snake lizard, an unusual reptile with reduced limbs. Tourists went out to sea to watch dolphins. The most attentive among them noticed one strange creature in the pod. It differed from the marine mammals not only by its more graceful body shape, but also by the fact that it had arms instead of fins. One of the tourists captured the creature on video and posted the footage online. Although it is difficult to believe that it was a mermaid, the tourists cannot find any other explanation for what they saw. A resident of Indonesia filmed footage that is hard to believe. The video shows a giant creature with a long neck approaching a remote island. After the footage was posted online, numerous debates began. Many viewers saw a resemblance to the Loch Ness monster and decided that a similar monster might live in the waters near Indonesia. However, some users suggested that it might have been some kind of debris drifting in the water. A disturbing video appeared online, shared by a worker involved in deforestation. The footage shows two indigenous islanders armed with spears. They are ready to risk their lives to preserve their native forest. Not everyone knows that in some corners of the planet, people still live who completely reject civilization. Deforestation threatens their traditional way of life and habitat. These people often face pressure from logging companies and governments, leading to conflicts and loss of land. The problem of preserving indigenous cultures and their habitats remains relevant in regions such as the Amazon, Africa, and Oceania. In early August of 2021, the Forestry Department received a call reporting that a small spectacled snake had been found in the Vikas Industrial Zone. Adil Mirza, who has been rescuing reptiles for more than 15 years, responded to the call. When he arrived, he was shocked to see that the snake had two heads. The specialist carefully placed the cobra in a container and sent it to the Animal Rescue Center at the Dehradun Zoo. Veterinarians examined the find and determined that the cobra was about 2 weeks old and that the cause of its two-headedness was a genetic mutation. Such an anomaly, called bicephaly, occurs when an embryo begins to divide into twins, but the process stops at an early stage. As a result, two heads with separate brains form on one shared body. In the wild, such snakes rarely survive, but in captivity, with proper care, they can live for several years. The author of this video was traveling along a river and encountered a huge crocodile. The reptile looked as if it had turned into a statue. It sat motionless near the shore with its mouth open, almost blending into the environment. It turns out that this is typical behavior for crocodiles. They often freeze in such a pose to regulate body temperature and save energy. In addition, crocodiles demonstrate strength this way and scare away potential rivals. This posture also helps crocodiles hunt. A fish or bird that comes too close becomes easy prey for a lightning-fast strike. A resident of Ecuador experienced real horror when she found a giant anaconda near her home. The woman immediately called the Wildlife Rescue Service. Specialists arrived, carefully caught the snake, and moved it away from residential houses. Anacondas are among the largest snakes in the world. Despite their impressive size and frightening appearance, they are generally not dangerous to humans. Attacks happen extremely rarely and usually occur if the snake feels threatened or mistakes part of a human body for prey in muddy water. A man went for a walk in the forest. At one point, his dog found something unusual, the remains of a mysterious creature. At first, he thought it was a snake, but the body was too short and sharp fangs stuck out of the mouth. The man carefully approached, filmed the find, and posted the video online. Many viewers immediately recognized the animal as an eel. Eels really do have teeth. They are small, sharp, and arranged in several rows along the jaws, allowing them to hold slippery prey firmly. The find probably belonged to a river eel that may have ended up on land during migration or after a flood. Workers discovered a giant snake that had crawled onto a construction site. Because the snake was covered in dust and dirt, it was difficult to identify its species, but most likely it was a python. Southeast Asia is one of the main regions where pythons live. Several species are found here. The reticulated python, the longest snake species in the world, reaching 10 meters, the Burmese python, reaching 6 meters, and the royal python, with a body length of up to 1.5 meters. During a forest hike in China, a pair of friends discovered an amazing moth. They filmed it and posted the video online. Viewers reported that it was the Artemis moon moth, a large moth from the Saturniid family that amazes with its delicate beauty. The moth is easy to recognize by the thin tails on its hind wings and the characteristic spots that resemble eyes. In males, the tails are longer and can reach 5 centimeters. The wingspan of the Artemis moon moth reaches between 10 and 14 centimeters, and the coloration varies from light green to pale yellow, with a thin white border along the edges. A man witnessed a scorpionfly dealing with its prey. He filmed what was happening and then shared the footage online. Scorpionflies look very unusual. Their name is connected with the fact that males have a peculiar tail resembling a scorpion's sting. Although the tail looks frightening, it is completely harmless and is needed only to attract females. Most often, scorpionflies feed on dead insects found on the ground or on flowers, but sometimes they also catch small living insects. In addition, they do not ignore rotting plants and fruit. In this way, scorpionflies act as forest cleaners. These amazing creatures have existed on Earth for more than 200 million years and are completely harmless to humans. In this footage, you see a true star of the island of Sumatra, a huge reticulated python more than 10 meters long and weighing almost 450 kilograms. Local residents found it and began treating it as a sacred animal. People watched over its health and even brought it food. When news of this snake reached scientists, they were amazed by its size. Reticulated pythons are among the longest snakes in the world. Usually, their length ranges from 6 to 10 meters. Record specimens exceeding these measurements are extremely rare and attract great scientific interest. These pythons live in Southeast Asia. They prefer tropical forests, mangrove thickets, and areas around bodies of water. Despite their impressive size, reticulated pythons mainly hunt medium-sized mammals using constriction. A team of researchers spent several years searching for Wallace's giant bee on the northern islands of the Maluku archipelago in Indonesia, and finally they were lucky enough to encounter this unique insect. Wallace's giant bee is the largest bee species in the world. Females can reach 3.8 centimeters in length, and their wingspan can measure 6.5 centimeters. The species was first described in 1858 by naturalist Alfred Russel Wallace, but after that, scientists could not find representatives of this species for almost 100 years. These bees build nests in termite mounds, using resin to protect themselves from termites. Their enormous jaws are not used for attack, but for collecting resin. Today, this rare species is threatened with extinction because of deforestation and its limited habitat range. Residents of one Cambodian settlement found a huge sea creature on the shore, or rather, its carcass. It had already begun decomposing, which made it look like a swollen mass without clear outline. People even mistook the animal for a monster. However, experts are sure that it is simply the remains of a large marine mammal that took on this shape because of natural decomposition processes. A tourist was relaxing near the sea when she suddenly noticed the head of a ray emerging from the water. She decided to come closer and was very surprised when the ray allowed her to stroke it. Moreover, it even seemed to enjoy it, because its mouth appeared to spread into a smile. In reality, the ray's smile is an optical illusion. The mouth opening of these fish is located underneath, and the characteristic curves at the edges of the mouth, together with the position of the gill slits, create the impression of a friendly expression. Experts were also able to explain the ray's unusual behavior. In their opinion, it allowed itself to be touched because it had become used to the presence of people in that area. Residents of an Indonesian village found a large python near their settlement. One brave man approached it and was caught in the snake's deadly coils. The others tried in every possible way to pull him out of the python's grip. After several minutes of struggle, they finally managed to free the victim. A python's coils are very dangerous for humans. The constricting force of an adult is comparable to the weight of several hundred kilograms. Therefore, a python's grip can lead to death from suffocation or traumatic shock. Several years ago, a funny video appeared online showing a tailless crocodile racing across the ground. Usually, crocodiles are not able to run that fast, but this individual demonstrated impressive speed. The situation looked even stranger because it had no tail. How exactly the reptile lost it is unknown. Perhaps it happened during a fight with another predator or under other circumstances. Despite the injury, the crocodile not only survived but also learned to run quickly. The absence of a tail reduces stability in water and slows swimming because the tail serves as the main propeller and rudder. However, this injury became useful for moving on land. The animal without a tail learned to run very fast. This individual probably began hunting more often on land, avoiding competition with other crocodiles in the water. This case demonstrates the amazing ability of crocodiles to survive even after serious injuries. In 2022, a tourist went deep into the forest on the island of Sumatra. At one point, he noticed a strange black figure among the thickets. It resembled a human, but remained motionless. The tourist carefully filmed the object and later posted the video online. After the video was published, users began arguing about what had been captured in the footage. Some viewers saw an alien in the creature because of its unnatural pose and dark silhouette. Others decided that it could be a member of one of the indigenous tribes wearing a ritual mask. Still others suggested that it was an idol or figurine left in the forest for religious purposes. Unfortunately, the object could never be identified. Residents of a village in Vietnam witnessed a strange phenomenon in the sky. They heard a very loud sound resembling the hum of a helicopter, after which a giant cloud formed in the sky. The hum continued for about 5 minutes, then the cloud dispersed, and the noise disappeared. At the same time, no aircraft or drones were seen in the sky. The video quickly spread online, and viewers proposed many theories. The most popular was the hypothesis of an alien spaceship hiding behind a cloud. However, meteorologists offered more realistic explanations. In their opinion, the phenomenon may have been caused by a sudden change in temperature and humidity, during which a dense cloud formed along with an accompanying sound effect. A zookeeper shared a video of an unusual baby turtle with 2 heads. As the specialist explained, the turtle was born with a rare anomaly known as bicephaly. The condition develops at the embryonic stage, when the process of twin separation stops early. As a result, 2 heads with separate brains form on one shared body. At the same time, each head has all the necessary organs for a full life. In essence, these are 2 turtles with one body. The baby was lucky to be born in a zoo, where specialists will provide it with proper care. In the wild, animals like this almost never survive. A resident of the island of Java shared a video of an unusual creature he found on the coast. It looked like a mythical being, a hybrid of a lizard and a fish, but it was real. The observer was especially struck by the position of its mouth. It seemed as though the creature was smiling and sincerely happy to meet a human. The creature did not resemble any known animal species. Its unusual appearance may have been the result of a genetic mutation. However, some viewers believe that it could have been a baby real mermaid. Unfortunately, it is impossible to identify such creatures without laboratory research, so we can only guess what the author of this video encountered. The author of this video captured a truly fantastic creature on camera. It had the body of an armadillo and the face of a human. At first, the man thought he was looking at some kind of art installation, but it soon became clear that the creature was definitely alive. It carefully turned its head while trying to remain motionless because it was afraid of being close to a human. Although the creature looked very creepy, the author of the video managed to film it and then decided not to disturb it and to leave it alone. The world ocean remains the least explored place on our planet, so after powerful storms, people sometimes find the most unexpected surprises on beaches. In Ireland, local residents discovered a huge creature on the shore that looked like something prehistoric. This led to the suggestion that perhaps they were looking at a baby pliosaur, a fearsome marine predator from the Mesozoic era. Pliosaurs, relatives of plesiosaurs, reached between 10 and 15 meters in length and ruled the ancient seas until they went extinct about 90 million years ago. But what if descendants of these monsters have survived somewhere in the unexplored depths of the ocean? A group of friends decided to relax on the beach before dawn. When they arrived at the coast, they were amazed to discover an unusual creature on the sand. It had a white body and a black fish tail. But the most frightening thing was that instead of fins or flippers, the creature had human hands. The friends examined the find, filmed it on camera, and concluded that it could be a real mermaid. They immediately reported their discovery to the police. Sometime later, special services arrived at the site, loaded the creature into a truck, and took it away for further research. However, no information about this mysterious find was ever made public. The author of this video found strange little creatures in a lake that looked as if they had arrived in the modern world from deep antiquity. He filmed them and posted the video online, hoping to find out what kind of animals they were. Soon it became clear that they were tadpole shrimps, small freshwater crustaceans often called living fossils. They appeared on our planet about 200 million years ago, during the Triassic period. Tadpole shrimps survived the dinosaurs and have lived to the present day. These creatures inhabit lakes and temporary bodies of water and have an amazing ability. Their eggs can lie in dry soil for decades and then come back to life when they get into water. A boy was walking near a river when he suddenly found the remains of a fish that looked like a real aquatic monster. The creature had a huge mouth with sharp, thin teeth. The boy was stunned by the discovery. He recorded it on camera and posted the video online. Many viewers wondered for a long time what the creature was, until most of them recognized the remains as those of a pike, a predatory fish common in freshwater bodies of Eurasia and North America. Its teeth are constantly renewed, and their arrangement is perfectly adapted for grabbing prey. A pike can hold its victim firmly and swallow it whole. Teenagers went for a walk and unexpectedly encountered a strange creature. It moved by jumping, its body was covered with light fur, and its limbs were connected by a membrane resembling wings. The friends filmed the animal and posted the video online. Soon they managed to find out that they had encountered a Sunda flying lemur, also known as a colugo. This unusual inhabitant of the tropical forests of Southeast Asia cannot fly in the literal sense, but it can glide with the help of the membrane connecting its limbs for distances of up to 100 meters. The animal is mainly nocturnal and feeds on leaves and fruit. Unfortunately, because of deforestation, the species has become threatened and has been listed in the Red Book. Tourists went for a ride on a small sea vessel along the coast. At one point, they noticed mysterious figures splashing in the water right near the shore. They were definitely not dolphins or seals. These creatures had female figures with long black hair and fishtails. The eyewitnesses are sure they saw mermaids. The most surprising thing was that the mythical creatures did not hide from people at all. They calmly swam and even seemed to examine the boat with curiosity. Although mermaids are considered fairy tale characters, reports of encounters with them appear regularly. The author of this video went for a walk in the forest. After going quite far, he noticed a creature between the trees whose body seemed massive and dark. Its appearance strongly reminded the eyewitness of descriptions of Bigfoot, the mythical monster whose existence scientists deny. The man was shocked that he had managed to meet a real Bigfoot. He turned on the camera and began filming. However, when the creature came closer, it became clear that it was not a monster at all, but a beekeeper in special protective gear. Because of the protective suit with a fuzzy surface, the man really did look like the legendary giant from a distance. Turtles and tortoises are amazing animals. They can live both in water and on land, and they also vary greatly in size, from tiny species to true giants. Recently, a female zookeeper shared footage online of her wards, Aldabra giant tortoises. In the video, she demonstrates not only the animal's impressive size, but also how they follow commands and completely trust her. These majestic reptiles live on the atoll of the same name in the Indian Ocean and are among the largest land tortoises in the world. Adults can weigh up to 250 kilograms and reach 120 centimeters in length. Their shells have a dome-like shape, and their powerful legs are adapted for moving over rocky terrain. These tortoises can live up to 150 years. A couple was walking along the shore when they suddenly noticed the remains of a strange creature on the rocks that resembled a snake. It had a dark, elongated body that looked already dried out. The animal had probably been there for several days. The couple filmed the find and posted the video online. Although the creature looked strange and somewhat frightening, many viewers recognized it as an eel. These fish sometimes end up on the coast. During low tide or a storm, they can be thrown onto the shore, and severe disorientation caused by the sudden change of environment prevents them from returning to the water in time. This happens especially often with river eels, which migrate over long distances. In July of 2011, in the Sea of Cortez, a Mexican fisherman named Enrique Lucero León caught a pregnant shark. Inside it, he found an embryo with a striking anomaly. The embryo was albino, and instead of two eyes, it had one huge eye located in the center of its head. Because of the unusual shape of its snout, it vaguely resembled a dolphin, and its snow-white coloring made it especially unusual. Photographs of the find quickly spread across social networks. Many people at first did not believe that what they saw was real. However, scientists confirmed the authenticity of the case. They explained it as an example of a congenital mutation in sharks that may have been caused by environmental pollution. Such anomalies are extremely rare, and each such find gives scientists a chance to better understand the genetic features of marine creatures. Tourists went on an exciting journey through an untouched part of an Indonesian forest and encountered an unusual rodent there. At first glance, it was a fairly large rat with big ears, a long, elongated snout, and a mobile nose resembling a pig's snout. The tourists wanted to know what kind of animal it was, so they took several photos and posted them online. Experts immediately recognized the animal as a shrew rat. Shrew rats are unique rodents that live only on the island of Sumatra. Unlike most rats, they feed exclusively on earthworms. Their elongated snout and sensitive nose help them find prey in the forest floor, and their unusual teeth are adapted for eating soft animal food. This species was discovered only in 2012, showing that even today, scientists continue to find new animal species in tropical forests. During a dive in the Black Sea, divers found an unusual shark. They noticed that the predator moved along the bottom as if walking on its fins. Later, it turned out to be the Black Sea cat shark, a small shark species that rarely exceeds 1 meter in length. Its special feature is that it can walk along the seabed using its muscular pectoral and pelvic fins for support. This behavior helps it explore complex bottom landscapes, search for food among stones and algae, and hide from larger predators. These sharks are safe for humans and play an important role in the ecosystem by controlling populations of small fish and invertebrates. Residents of a coastal village in Indonesia discovered something very creepy in the water, a giant mass about 50 meters in size, giving off an extremely unpleasant smell. The locals decided to call specialists. As it later turned out, it was the carcass of a whale. The bodies of large marine animals are sometimes washed into coastal areas. During decomposition, they change greatly in appearance. Tissues deform, swell, and lose their original shape. Because of this, even experts may not immediately recognize whether they are looking at the remains of a whale or another large sea creature. Such finds cause many rumors and assumptions, especially when the carcasses are partly hidden underwater or damaged by marine scavengers. The author of this video was exploring the jungle and found near a tree a fragment of a fossilized finger with a nail. It was quite heavy and very large. The person who found it is sure that the finger belonged to a giant. Interestingly, similar finds appear from time to time, but scientists still cannot give them a definite explanation, since giants are considered only mythical creatures. Specialists believe that such giant remains often turn out to be bones of large animals or fossils of unusual geological formations. Nevertheless, each such find fuels interest in ancient legends about races of giants that, according to the traditions of many peoples, once inhabited Earth. Several years ago, a video from Indonesia appeared online showing a crocodile seemingly drowning and waving its legs as if asking for help. Experts explained that predators sometimes demonstrate such behavior while hunting. Crocodiles use this trick to attract the attention of potential prey, such as birds or small mammals, which may mistake the movements for signs of an animal in distress and come closer. When the victim is within reach, the predator attacks suddenly. In addition, waving the legs may help the crocodile hold its position in a strong current, stir up mud that hides its movements, or simply serve as a way of communicating with other crocodiles. This behavior shows how inventive these ancient predators can be in their hunting strategies. Men were fishing from a boat when they suddenly noticed a drowning monkey in the water. They understood that the animal urgently needed help and rowed closer. The monkey immediately realized what to do. It swam up to the boat and deftly jumped inside. The fisherman carefully guided the boat to the shore, and the monkey, wasting no time, jumped from the side onto land. After thanking its rescuers with a short, piercing cry, the animal immediately disappeared into the nearest thickets. The author of this video filmed an unusual bird while it was hunting. It looked very strange, almost like a mythical creature. It had the body and wings of a bird and a long neck resembling a snake. After the video was posted, many viewers were amazed by what they saw, while experts explained that the footage showed a darter, an amazing bird built for underwater hunting. Darters live near bodies of water in tropical and subtropical regions. Their main feature is an unusually long, flexible neck. The birds thrust it forward at lightning speed and spearfish with a sharp, serrated beak. After catching prey, they surface, toss the fish into the air to turn it head first, and skillfully swallow it in flight. After hunting, darters climb onto land, spread their wet wings, and dry them in the sun because their feathers are not protected by oily coating and quickly become soaked in water. A man shared footage online of an unusual catch. He managed to catch a strange fish that looked like a living fossil. Along its body, there was something like spikes forming a kind of armor, and the skin on its belly was very dense. The man has been fishing for many years, but he had never encountered such an amazing fish before. At the Jakarta Oceanarium, tourists discovered an unusual arowana with two heads. Two-headed arowanas are an extremely rare phenomenon caused by a genetic anomaly during embryonic development. Usually such individuals do not survive in the wild because of difficulties with coordination and finding food. But in an oceanarium, they can live for years under specialist care. This arowana became a local attraction. Specialists feed it individually, monitor the health of both heads, and carry out regular examinations. That is all from me. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to rate it, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell. For me, your activity is the best reward. Thank you for your attention. See you soon. Bye.